1. Live here with Weston Zaludek.
Howdy.
Howdy. Oh, you're going to want that mic really close to you, like
howdy,
right
howdy.
there. Yeah. How you been, man? It's been like 100 episodes since you came on.
It's been 3 years.
3 years. You were one of the people who was like originally OG back when it was at my parents' house in like a spare little room. And now look, now it's at my own place. For a while, you missed it completely, I guess, but I was out at a studio downtown Eugene. It was just audio, and now, boom, back in action. What have you been up to in this time?
Good, but guess where I used to live?
Where'd you used to live?
Right across the street in the basement.
Did you really?
Yeah, in that corner house.
That's
right
a
there.
trip.
Yeah, for like with my friend Perry and Matt.
Yeah, again, you're going to need
Right
this
there.
so close.
Oh, sorry. I used to live right there. right
grab
in the
it and just
corner.
like bring it up to you.
Okay,
man.
sounds good.
All right, yeah.
Cool.
That's trips. So you just
No.
like literally came back to right next to where you live.
Yes, and I was like, I know the street. I'm like, oh, I lived there. I crashed there. Well, my old brew house I lived at got closed down.
Yeah.
So I called my friend, can I live in your couch? And then my other friend left Alaska, and so I ended up living there.
Score. So you're like
Yeah.
a couch surfer, professional couch surfer.
And then I just took over.
Nice.
You know, it's like a soup and sandwich kind of deal.
Which, speaking of, that's what you're kind of doing up in Corvallis right now. You're like
Same thing.
Renovating a soup and sandwich place.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Soup, sandwiches, beer, music. But yeah, never the same way though that I've ever done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's different? Is this something you can go into depth with? Because you kind of told me and DJ that one day.
Yeah, it's just that I am like I feel the bottom of the totem pole. You know, I feel that these people are just way smarter than me and have way more going on than me. So it's like nice to be brought along.
Nice. But it was like part of the people involved with the Holiday Farm Fire lawsuit and stuff like that?
Yes.
And then so like from when that happened to now, what occurred and how did you get involved with it?
I just basically was hanging out in this brewery. Well, I showed up there, you know, and I saw my friend Dave Wills who owned the place, and then another guy named Dave. There's lots of Daves. You learn that.
Lots of
Dave
Daves.
and some interns trying to make the beer, but the beer is still infected. And I haven't been there for years. I haven't been there. I stopped by to say hi.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, I'm like, hey, you're doing that wrong. It's infected.
Wait, beer's been infected for years? Like they've been pumping out and selling
Oh,
bad
okay.
beer?
All it was our main fermenter. Her name's Bella. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. And she opened up and sucked in a bunch of yeast from the ceiling.
Oof.
So it was infected beer, and they never could get the gasket to seal because it's like 6 inches from the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get that thing tight. Kept every time negative pressure would suck in bacteria, so the brewery's going to close down. So like the finances were dire.
Yeah, because
So
they
I'm
haven't been
like-
able to sell beer in years.
Yeah, well, not much at least.
Yeah,
barely any beer.
brutal. Yeah.
So I was like, I haven't been around in years. I've been in the Midwest. So I just saw like what was going on, and my friend Keenan was working with his girlfriend. One of the sweetest people I know. And he was like promised a bunch of money. Never got to see it. That's brewing industry
Rough.
for you.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So
here.
that's the weed industry from
Yeah,
most people I
yeah.
know. And that's most industries. It seems
So
like
it's chaos. It was pure chaos. I'm listening to pure chaos. But I've always believed Oregon Trail was more than that. So I just basically assumed position and started brewing. And so I took over as the brewer there because there really wasn't like a brewer.
Yeah, I thought you were always like a brewer. Like even at your house, you'd have like big kind of get together parties where people like pick berries and like make an underground brew over a course of a year. Like I thought you were like the brew master.
No, I'm just, you could say that, but I think I don't have enough experience.
Yeah, but
You
no
know?
one does. That's why I'm learning more and more. Like the more people, I'm like, oh, I'll kind of like work with some people closely. I'm like, oh, no one knows what they're doing. They're just like skating by.
Yeah.
And some people like really figured out how to like extract money by skating by, and some like there's some hardcore people who are like live woodworking or whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah.
But most people, man, they're just trying to make it. Most people are just fronting that they know what they're doing day to day.
Yeah, exactly. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So
So
my favorite saying.
last time I met you, you had pretty recently gotten in a car crash or like been
Yeah.
T-boned. You like found Jesus and all this stuff, which is funny. I don't know if you listened to the new Kanye album, but it's all about how he was like $50 million in debt, and now he's like $7 billion call because he like found Jesus. So I'm curious, did your life make like a radical change like that as well once you like accepted Lord and Savior?
No.
It got worse.
No, because it was years before that. It was a decade before when I first had my coming to Jesus moment. You know, it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, no, actually, yeah, it's honestly the borderline schizophrenia is what happens.
Wow. When
It's
you find Jesus?
Well, okay, yeah, because you start having this conscience
Mhm.
that starts telling you that a different path, other than the one that you've always perceived.
Yeah.
So you got to entertain different voices.
But it's helpful? Like it's a good voice? Or like it's actually genuine good advice? Or
It
is it like
depen-
do your
depen-
taxes? Or is it,
it
like
depends on you.
rob a store?
It depends how you do it.
Yeah.
Some people say, I heard aliens told me that, you're the devil, and I'm gonna shoot you in the head,
Oof.
and and I'm gonna, that's the manifestos of some crazy.
That's why I don't look at homeless people in the eyes. I'm like,
No,
don't make me part of your like whatever
so it's
internal
up to
monologue.
you to do it. It's up to you to. So people just handle it in the way they can handle it.
Yeah, and
some people are kind of the nicest, kindest, most people ever. Some people turn out to be, just nuns. How can I talk shit on a nun?
Yeah. So when like you stop hearing
can't
the
talk
voice,
bad about a nun.
you fall out of Christianity, and then like when you start getting directions again, you like fall back into religion, or like. Is it like a thing that you fade in and fade out of, or have you been like pretty staunchly in it ever since you like started?
No, I could say there's a borderline like in my soul that like I've never given up faith, But there has been absolute ups and downs, and the things that you think will make you question it, aren't the things you think will make you question it.
Yeah,
until you face them.
You're like railing blow off a strip. You're like, I'll go get baptized again next week.
No, I wish it was like that. To me, that means like, oh, I can get away with this.
Oh yeah.
But like it's the stuff that your sin will find you out. So it's like those actions you do over the whole time for decades and decades.
Yeah.
Eventually will find you out. Maybe, they manifest in weird ways you can't control.
Yeah. Do you have an example of that?
Stuff. What's that?
Do you have an example?
Bill
of
Cosby?
Oh no, in your own life.
Oh.
I mean, that's not even like Christianity. That's like someone did a crime for decades.
He's the nicest guy I know ever. Like my whole life, he's like the nicest person.
He's your role model.
For 30 years, he's a role model. He just
became my role model 3 years ago.
I know.
No, I'm kidding.
Like, mine was blown. He let me down. On that one. But I don't know. My own life, it's just every breath almost. There's an inward tension.
Yeah.
You can question everything.
Kind of like karma is what you're talking about.
Shit, enough religions, you get confused. Like, am I wiping with my left hand? Am I wiping my poop with my right hand? I'm pooping. Is that wrong?
So you're literally questioning everything.
Because we're all gonna poop. We're sitting there and like you think about everything when you got to deal with that. Like your whole life floods.
This is what Christianity brings into your life, figuring out which hand you should poop.
It's weird because you start getting down to like they said I'm wrong with this and you say I'm wrong with that and like and I eat with this hand and that's like a billion people that think that and it's like really can't I just poop? Can I have that one thing?
It's a new religion. Poop with or wipe with whatever hand you want.
Like I have my own pooping religion. I've like worked on it for years and years.
Wow.
I've got it figured out.
Devout. It's funny. I've never once been like, is this going to send me to hell? I've been like, this is like, it's hidden away from God. There's no windows in a bathroom.
Yeah. It just spirals you. It's like, oh my God, I can't even think straight.
Right. Well, you're not pitching religion very well, man. Like, first off, you have to always feel guilty. You have to question everything.
Got it.
So what's like what's the good side? Like what's it really brought into your life that's like positive then? Because now it's been a while.
It's this endless energy and pursuit.
That's what our last guest had too. I've been in this place where, dude, I've been sleeping like 14 hours the night before, 12 hours last night, and I'm still sleepy. I'm like, what's going on?
It's not just you, man. There's a lot of people feeling that right now.
Is there? So I just need to accept God as my savior and all of energy?
No, it's nothing like that. No, dude, trust me, I sleep whenever I'm not absolutely demanded. When, like last week when I canceled on you, I stayed up and played video games all night.
What video game?
Gosh, my friend...
God was watching
my friend Chris Ayers, he runs and manages and owns the Greenberry Tavern, and he got this new Japanese game. It's called like... Naraka.
Nice.
It's like this new Japanese video game where you're like a samurai ninja, and you fight other samurai ninjas live in like 100 samurai ninja battleground that closes.
Cool.
And he has a great computer, and I got to just watch him. I just watched him play. It was so fun. I got sucked into it. I'm like, you're such a good ninja.
It's so funny. There's something about watching.
I'm just, oh my God. He's like, you want to play? I'm like, no, you're too good. And he won, and it's for the first time he's ever won against like people in the tournament.
It's like Samurai Fortnite.
So, so the first time I watched him, I started screaming at him what to do. He like won. I was like, yes, I've never won before, but like he had all the skills, he just had like run away more. You got to run away a lot.
It makes me so much happy to understand that energy
so
people
all night.
are also lazy in their free time because like all these people come on the show and they have like all this energy. I'm like, how? And some people are like I mean, the last guest, like after the show, he kind of like broke it down. He's like, I'm living for this, and this. I'm like, dude, you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like pretty much just making sure his whole family is okay because he's the only like pretty good chance at like making sure people don't die homeless. I'm like, oh, that would be pretty motivating. But like for most people, it's like the world's just heading in a way where I'm just losing hope in the sense that this will all be worth it. The daily work, where you're just like, not that this, I don't mean to bring that up every show.
No,
it's just like a really relevant thing in my life, like the past month or two when I've had no energy and I keep like doing stuff and I'm like, I don't know, man. Again, I'm falling back into watching the news. Like when I stopped doing the show, I completely stopped watching news. I got happier. I'm like, I just got to honestly shut down Reddit and
Reddit. I love Reddit.
I love Reddit
it's
too.
Fun.
But even like maybe it's the subreddits I'm following.
But I don't even have an account. I just get sucked into it for hours.
You're just a lurker. You don't like comment
I get sucked
or
into
post?
for hours. I don't even mean to. I just go like, hey, that's cool. Oh no. And my girlfriend looked at me and go like, Weston, are you still looking at that? Like, what I get sucked into? I got sucked into multi-level marketing schemes last night.
No.
Like there's a Reddit.
I'm not like
that.
following. I'm gonna light up a CBD Metolia's joint if you'd want one, man.
Yeah,
There's one with an ashtray right there for you.
Yeah, and so it's just so funny because I'm like, oh, let me look at the best all-time multi-level marketing scheme like jokes, and it was hilarious because I was kind of part of one, I guess, when I was younger. So.
Wait, you got part of one when you were?
Oh
younger?
Yeah, not kind of. It's book selling. It was book selling, so it was like kind of. Well, they had actual product, but now that I look back on it, like. There was questionable stuff.
You're getting your family and friends involved.
No, that wasn't like that at all. Actually, they would ship you away to get
really?
other people's family and friends involved. Like 3 months, you'd be in another state.
How old were you?
18.
And you just got shipped away to try to bring people in. Did you bring
to sell books?
Were you good at it? It's funny. When I gave,
I was decent.
Greatest salesman in the world to a lot of people. You're the first. There's been 3 people who recognized it.
Because they gave it to me.
Yeah, you're one of the only people who recognized it, and you're like, I'll form good habits and become their slave. You're like,
yep.
I was like, oh, this guy's read it. So
yeah, I read this book because they made me read it. They forced me to read it, and they did good things for me. It honestly forged me who I am as a person today. But
forged you.
Yeah, it really did because I didn't know what was going on. So I have nothing bad to say about him. But now I can see who I could have become if I didn't experience what I experienced from getting out of that. So.
Not a lot of people get trapped into multi-level marketing.
They say,
yeah, that was really good for me. That was a really formative part of my youth. Most people were like, oh man, fucking ruined all my relationships. But it actually did good for you.
It did do good for me. Actually, I have the best friends I ever had, and still friends to this day with them. And that's all. I guess it's given me a good perception on people from other states.
Yeah.
So far away, not what it's like there, but you tell me what it's like you living here, and I'm gonna witness it, and you tell me what it's like here. What do you notice? Not I'm gonna read about what it's like there.
But you came back here. Those other places seem not that great compared to Oregon and me. Were they pretty good? Are they enticing? Wait, you said you lived in the Midwest recently.
Yes. Oh man, it depends.
Since you came on the show, the past 3 years, you moved away and came back?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
It's just I've done a lot of traveling in my life.
Nice.
I have not moved since we talked.
You're how old? 33?
33.
Nice. Good guess.
Thanks.
You're exactly a decade older than me. I just had another person who's a decade older than me. What happened in the past 10 years? It's always fun to ask. What happened in the last decade of your life that I have to look... Or I guess I'm 24. I just turned 24. What do I have to look forward to in the next decade of my life? Good decade? Boring decade?
You're just... All I gotta say is you're not gonna have to take much medication. You're gonna be healthy. Enjoy your health.
You took medication?
No, you're not gonna have to take medication. I like to with my grandma, and people right now who are having allergies to certain medications they're gonna have to take for osteoporosis or for, let's say, blood pressure and stuff.
Yeah.
You just have good health. Enjoy your good health. You're gonna have great health.
Sick.
When you hit 35, you might have a tingle of a back pain or a spat. Things start to fall apart. The wheels start to fall off.
You're not even 35. You're saying that.
33. I start feeling, So ever since that car accident, a few years ago before that, then I had my foot's always sore and I got a back pain. Wow, I really am dying.
My foot feels funny.
I really am dying.
To be fair, you got in a car accident. It's not just daily use got you fucked up. You got in a severe accident where some people die. And you came away with a sore foot. Big scheme of things, not that bad.
I know. It's not bad. But it's just it's just something to complain about. I love complaining.
Yeah, I fell off a 12-story building, and you know what? Ever since then, my wrist has kind of hurt. It's that's expected, man.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
so I have some pains, but it's I didn't have those before. So I guess just enjoy your life. If you want to hike or jog or go do stuff physically active, then do it because you're not going to be able to later. Because I know people that golf and golf the rest of your life. That's not true.
Yeah,
because it's not true at all. Because you never know when your last swing's going to be because it hurts you. You know, your back, and you can't even walk barely. And then you gotta imagine living for 20 years with that way.
Yeah, I'm already thinking.
So just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. That's what I'm saying.
But I know some people in their 60s who have more energy than me.
Exactly.
Sleep less. I'm there's some other way of getting around it. And they're not all religious people, or not all multi-level marketing people, but somehow people find energy. Pretty much, I'm just with this show. This is now investigative journalism of inviting the people with the most energy on.
And I like that. I didn't know this.
What's going on in there? Right there.
Oh,
you get your own, brother.
Oh, what?
Yeah, holla holla.
Sweet.
Try to chief on my joint.
Nothing's wrong with CBD,
It's a kid chopper. One guest came in kind of high, got him kind of drunk, and he actually had to get to a point where he's like, "Is this easy to open?" Nice. Matolia CBD. I got a kind of sponsor of sorts for smoking CBD joints on the show. I'm like, fuck yeah. Because, dude, if I smoked a THC joint every show, this show would go downhill so fast. I've started drinking, and I realized that shows that I get, even any more than 2 shots go downhill so fast. Holy fuck. The quality of drunk conversations compared to sober conversations.
But they sound better.
You think they
To
sound
you,
better? Oh,
me.
yeah. In the moment. But then like,
Yeah.
I listen to them in post, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to stop doing that.
Yeah.
It's probably not the thing to do every show.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like same thing with like hallucinogens. It's like I experience everything and I understand everything in the moment, and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, God, how can I capture that? Can I experience that again? It's
Yeah.
gone. Like I need to live that. Can I just live that again? Can I hit that replay?
Yeah.
And if you record it, there's no capturing it. There's no capture. That's life. It's like
Yeah.
blooming like a flower. You'll never can't put it back in.
Yeah. If you try to like
You know?
film it and record it or like document it and write it down, it kind of ruins the moment. No, a lot of guests have been talking way more openly about like mushrooms and acid than ever before. Something about Oregon where people just don't really give a fuck. They're like, nah, who cares? It's pretty much legal here. And it kind of is. Like, I mean, it seems like it's not like looked down upon or anything. Take that glass out of there.
Yeah,
so
it
you
seems
don't ash it.
not much to look down upon these days.
Yeah, except for the weirdest drug, which are understandable. Like drugs that actually kind of ruin
I'm into.
people's life.
I like Datura.
I have a Datura outside.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Just like,
Did you see it though? I have.
No, I just guessed.
Oh.
I pulled up in the ether, dude.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, bro.
I literally just said that.
They're
I
like
don't know. I didn't see it.
Not even or they're a kind of hallucinogen that actually like make you have
I
kind of
know.
like nightmares. Yeah.
I know.
Like
I just pulled it out.
yeah,
of the
they're not like.
I
fun
didn't
to
see the
take.
plant. Yeah.
Oh, it's from Hawaii. It's like
Yeah.
legal to have the plant.
It is,
which
totally.
cool. And you
Yep.
can just like some people like sit under it and meditate, and they just get interesting meditations.
Why would I have said that?
Or you can like grab it and crush it up and make it really concentrated, and then people are like, yeah, it's like a hell experience. No shit. Like nobody has a good experience on it, but
that's what's funny
right?
to me.
That's
Because that's the best experience.
what's my favorite drug? Just this one that just pretty much kills people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a toxin. It's like a poison, but it makes you, you know, I mean, it's like all my worst trips have been the absolute best when I look back. You know?
Really?
Yeah. Like in the moment, they're catastrophic. They're horrible.
Like what one?
They're terrifying. Which one?
You
know,
I got into car
I'm
accident
gonna go
tripping.
deep on. Like, not gonna go look back too hard, but you know, all the ones that I'm like, wow, that really wrecked my life. And I look back, I'm like, well, it kind of helped me too. You know, so it's just what you get from it too. Some are like, man, this bubbly fun. Whoa, look at this fun, cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wow, what I really learned? Nothing. I'm doing the same stuff I did yesterday. You know, I'm gonna keep doing. You know, it's like gets you stuck in the same rut.
Yeah, it seems like after a certain amount of trips, this stops changing your life as much. Like I had quite a few like on each different psychedelic where I was like, wow, I'm like a radically new person. But then lately, I take it and I'm just like, I come back and I'm like, I'm gonna change nothing about my life.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I guess when I look back, it was bad because it was painful. But pain is, you know, kind of a way of saying you love you in a weird way.
No, it's not. Pain sucks. How is pain like the universe saying it loves you?
I don't know. It's like, that's my mind, I guess, and whatever you want to call it. It's like, I look back and, like, let's say you want to exercise. That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But then you come back stronger.
Yeah, good point.
So-
I can see it to some extent. But like if I came up behind you and just like hit you on the back of the head with like a pole, you would be like, man, I really appreciate it.
No,
That's
God.
just you showing me you love me.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's how I feel. I do feel like that.
Well, then you just get more love after you turn 35 and you have chronic pain, right? What's the problem with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish I could, like, sometimes it's like I don't react and just give it time and then I hold it until later and I release it. You know, like
Primal screaming session.
something like that, you know, just like, oh man, I should react or do something and I can't process it.
Yes.
So I don't communicate well and then I'll just like not do nothing. And then later I'll like decompress.
Yeah.
Take it with like a chihuahua that like eats all the food and then runs away and barfs it up.
That's a metaphor
Yeah,
for
and
your
then I eat
internal
it.
mind.
Oh yeah.
And then you eat it slower later.
I'm safe. I'm safe here. What was going on there?
So you do it alone. Like you don't have a person.
You know, yeah,
What
you know,
the-
yeah. Just it's awesome.
You're a good therapist.
I just
So anyways-
sprint to my safe place and like I gotta digest this.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because you seem like someone who's very like emotionally steady and level. Do you just like cry once a week? You just get it all out, or do you like scream? What do you do? What does you digesting thrown up puke look like, man?
Oh man. Usually it's me just not being my best self. Probably being mean to people I love the most.
Classic.
Yeah.
Isn't that classic? The person who's the nicest and closest to you and trying to help you the most should lash
People
out
that
at
know me
them.
the best, and I'll be like, "You're irritating me." They're like, "Well, you're irritating me." I'm like, "Well, we need to not talk for a while."
People shouldn't be that close into each other. That's why. So
Yeah.
Kenzie and I didn't go to Burning Man this year because
Yeah.
like it was a pretty recent friend in the big scheme of things. Like we've known him 3 or 4 months, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you'll come," and it'll be like, it'll all be handled for you. And we're like, "That sounds really nice." And we're like, "That's how to ruin an early friendship is to be like pretty much locked in a small RV for like a week with someone." I'm like, man, all our idiosyncrasies is gonna come out. We're just gonna be fighting, and it's like, so we said no, but we kind of regret going. We'll go next year. You ever gone to Burning Man?
No.
You seem like a Burning Man guy.
No, I've never been. No. I've never been. No, I mean, it sounds fun.
Yeah, another person when he's like, it's like country fair. You didn't miss much. I'm like, that's cool. It's good to know, just to not have that like, fuck, I missed out, man, on a once in a lifetime opportunity. But it's all what it is. So anyway, what's on your horizon? Like your next year that you're looking forward to, or are you just kind of rolling day to day and without looking?
It's a little both.
Yeah.
It's a little of both.
You'd be like a lead brewer someday, or you're gonna like help form that? Because just to tell people, like, you're currently like helping fix up a really cool place to make it like an all-inclusive resort just for the owner.
Oh no! It's just basically everyone's dreams coming true simultaneously on the same project.
Dope.
And that's just hard to take in. It's hard to process.
Yeah.
Because like, is this real? Is this happening? Is this a dream? Is this life? It's like people are just as passionate as me about what they're doing, and I don't have to worry about them doing their job at all. I don't have to worry about. Mostly, I got to focus on my job. What am I doing?
And what are you doing?
That's awesome. I'm just making beer.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. You know, so it's like it's super easy. But
disappointing you didn't bring a beer for us, man.
No, I don't. Yeah.
It's all poison.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just exactly. It is. It's poison. It's like
world's worst salesman.
Don't get me started on some of the best medicines. A little bit of poison. So.
Yeah, you are with that on that agenda of pain's good for you, poison's
There's
good
a little
for you.
poison that's good for you sometimes. Like, I know I read something about like arsenic and apple seeds and apricot seeds that, like, you know, it's good for cancer treatment. So I was like, that sounds something that's wacky enough to get your medical license pulled.
Yeah.
Sounds like something I'll try.
Yeah, you know someone with cancer, just take a little arsenic every day.
Like what?
It'll kill the cancer faster than it kills
I think
you.
I learned this from what's that one movie? Princess Bride.
Really?
Remember that when he like drank the poison every day?
Oh yeah.
And he tricked that guy. He's like, poison's in both of them, dude.
Good movie.
Yeah. He's like, I was a kid and I watched him, like, that stuck with me. Like, I need to poison myself now. You know, like, I think I ate rat poison like that day.
There's one person who like radically went against. There's like this. I wish I could just pull up the Wikipedia page right now. But this person got immune to poison, then he got captured and he was gonna get tortured. So he actually took poison. He couldn't kill himself. So
That's
like a really famous story.
Oh yeah. That's
so
what's his name?
There's downsides.
Rasputin.
Yeah, so there's downsides of getting immune to poison, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So you get like numb to the point
Rare
where...
and far between. But I swear to God, life's like so ironic like that. That's why I'm really careful about like not shitting on COVID or shitting on anything in particular, because it's like you get it. Like someone's like so cocky, he's like, yeah, I'm immune to poison. It's like literally ends up being the worst decision in his life.
Yeah.
Like every news article is like, this person said COVID didn't exist. Now they died from it. I'm like, holy shit. What is it about the universe that's like supremely ironic in every way?
Yeah, all those news, the news seems set up. All that stuff seems too set up to me.
It seems too set up.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's too set up. It's like, it just is. So I don't really watch that. Personally, just like noticing stuff around me, it's like everyone's got to face their own mortality. And, you know, and that comes to the point where it makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me uncomfortable sometimes, but it's like more prevalent.
No, we're getting to the point where everyone has to stay alive forever. I'm almost getting to the point where I'm going to go get my vaccine. I'm just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like the news is eventually getting to me. It's enough brainwashing.
Wearing you down. You've been tired last month. Yeah.
I've been getting worn down. I've been like, oh, this is going to make every part of my life harder. If I want to travel, if I want to go to festivals, if I want to work at a lot of places, like, really? I mean, I don't know, man. You're kind of excluded from life. Like, has COVID affected you? Did you go get the vax? Are you like kind of buying into all of it? Or are you just saying fuck it?
No, I just think like I never did before, so I'm not going to change now. You know, like, and this seems scary to me to have to change my whole persona to be someone I'm not. Yeah, because like I never took the flu vaccine, and I took let's see what I take. Last vaccine I took was I stepped on a nail. I fell through I fell through a roof in South Dakota, and then so I get a tetanus shot.
It's weird that you can get the tetanus shot after you get it, because that's what happened. I
got like immediately, like within the next month. I'm like, that makes sense. I haven't had it, and I'm pretty sure that kills people, and I've already had that one before.
Oh yeah, no, tetanus fucks you up. But
so
it's weird,
like there's not a good survival rate on that. But
it'd be weird, like to get COVID and then go get a COVID vaccine.
Like, yeah, exactly.
But it
doesn't
works.
make sense.
But that's how it always works with tetanus. I've been so curious. I'm like, does tetanus take a long time to like hit in? I wish there was a Lyme vaccine, because that's one of the ones I would go get. Because now I know so many people who have it. They're like,
what, Lyme disease?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's pretty much like your brain. I would get that vaccine. That's like one of the vaccines I would get in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's like, can I get the shark attack vaccine?
But Lyme is so...
Like, there's a vaccine that makes me like sharks just hate me.
Oh, sharks
Like inject
hate
me
you.
with something
Your
weird.
skin something that can't
Just
bite
mutate
through.
me at this point.
Yep.
You know, like I'm scared of this weird thing. Just change me.
Pennsylvania or somewhere on the East Coast, they're suggesting like 20 to 30% of people
I'm
are
scared of
blind.
shark attacks.
And it's are you? I'm scared of shark attacks. I think everyone is. But then over on the West Coast, they're like just starting to migrate and be over here because of the weather. And I'm like, dude, that makes me, because like I bought a hunting tag one season, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go hunting because the hunter is one of the people who got Lyme, and I'm like, dude, what amount of pleasure and happiness in life is worth having your brain and body deteriorate from like a weird fucking little thing that gets on you? You don't even notice. Like end of the trip, you're like, oh, pluck that off, bro. You have something that's like an ALS kind of symptom. I'm like, oh fuck, nature's scary. Even here, like that was always the joy of Oregon. We have nothing here that can kill you. Maybe a rattlesnake, but pretty much nothing.
It's where it's like basically like I just see like all this like advanced medical advances are a blessing, but secretly they're just like lifting the curtain slightly so we can just see it coming. But back, I think before all this, like 1,000 years ago, people just died. It's unexplanatory. Just died. We didn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
I
people
know
are
we are
basically
way more scared of that.
But because we're looking at it more, we're peering at it, we're like trying to figure out like how do we save more people. But then like the hypocrisy of the whole situation is we use that technology then in some form of warfare. You know, so like the same stuff we use to heal people, that technology is used to kill people simultaneously. Almost as fast as we discover it, it's turned into something to enslave people. So
enslave people. What world do you live? I mean, I agree 100%, but it's like I do my best to be like, nah, none of that exists. More or less, it's creepy. The show's also, aside from like just a fun way of like talking to people, it's a way of me documenting so I can look back and like see the cycles that I go through of like happiness and really like optimistic, and then like sleeping a lot, no energy, kind of pessimistic, kind of like letting the world kind of encroach in on me, and then going with any luck going back into a cycle of like, oh, I'm really optimistic, like I have a long time horizon for the things that I'm doing. But it's like I've noticed like that's my biggest cycle in life.
Well, so it's wise to think to be depressed. It's the wise thing to do is go to people's funerals. The wise thing to do is think about death constantly. Like the wise man's probably not the happiest man, you know. So like the more wisdom you accrue, you have your cycles, like you said, to process that stuff. And like you feel pain. You feel pain though. You feel for that person that you see starving inside the street. Maybe you just drove by. Maybe you used to just drive by. You see someone struggling out of their mind, just yakking, making no sense, screaming up the wind, and you're like, where is the sanity in this? What society's failed us, you know. But you're noticing this. You used to just drive by. So then that weight starts hitting you. So you're looking, and you're just like, and your mind's expanding, and you're gripping, and it's gripping you, and it's just like this weight starts to grab.
But is that really more wise and a better way to live? Like, wouldn't someone who kind of blocks it off and is more productive and happy, like?
To me, it's
I'd rather just be happy and just.
The stupid man, the wise man. There's no advantage. They're all going to die in the end.
They're all going to die. So why do anything?
That's the point.
That's the point. That's what religion brings into your life. You're like,
exactly.
Fuck it, just do whatever you want. So you just brew.
No, I'm saying like imagine this. It's like my soul's a seed. And everything that I take for this flesh body grows that seed.
Okay.
So when I die and that seed gets planted into eternity, I reap what I sowed.
This doesn't even seem like Christianity. It seems like your own religion. I like it.
You like it? Yeah. That's just the way my brain processes it. You know, but Christ is the center of it. But I just see it like a plant. Yeah. It's like a lot like nature. It just looks like nature. It's like here, like how do you? And that's like reincarnation technically, but it's not because you get a new body.
Pull this mic even further.
Okay.
No, don't scoot up into it because you're gonna scoot back.
Oh, it's okay.
Pull it toward you.
Okay, pull it towards me.
It's like you go to church one day and they're like saying how it is. You're like, no. It's more like this.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
You're like a seed, and they're like, we don't agree with this. Then none of this is.
No, it is in the Bible. All that stuff is in the Bible. It's just like a lot of it gets focused on, I think, on how to take your money. You know, a lot gets focused on like how to feel better.
Religion, and you still promote it. That's the whole thing. Is like a lot of people are religious, kind of look past that. But you see that like a lot of it. So you don't pay like your tithe, like your 10%.
Well, because it's like there's like two mindsets. It's either God doesn't exist or He does. You know, and I've heard arguments both ways.
You don't have to be Christian if you believe God exists.
Exactly.
Okay, so you just like believe God exists. You're not like a diehard Christian guy.
No, I would die if someone said, "Hey, change your religion right now, or you'll die." I would die for it. But like I won't force it on anyone because, hey, I don't know what you perceived in your life.
Yeah. I
don't know what you perceived in your life. Mm-hmm. How am I can't pretend to feel like you feel?
Yeah.
And like your truth got presented to you in this very interesting way. Mm-hmm. Just for you, personal way.
But you still like enjoy drugs and stuff, like, which kind of goes against like a lot of Christianity is like, oh, don't smoke weed or take psychedelics or amphetamines or whatever else there is. But like, so do you kind of like pick and choose your part of religion that you enjoy? I feel like that's most people.
Yeah, I feel my funny is I feel like I prepare for the question, but when I see like a very passionate Baptist preacher just going off on my sin and fire and brimstone, I believe him, and I know he's 100% right. Everything he says, I'm 100% right on. But like when you say like no drugs at all, you know, it brings up like, you know, it's such a big question. Like coffee, the number one consumed psychedelic per pound in the entire world, psychoactive. Yeah.
Not psychedelic.
But you know, like I'm sure. I mean, if you give me concentrated enough of that, I'd want to puke and probably die. I've had caffeine overdose a couple times.
Even caffeine, like taking powder.
Just like drinking espresso on nitro. Just like had six shots and this like root beer, and like, oh, I have a root beer, but it's another one.
Yeah.
So you have like 12 shots or 14 shots, and you're sitting in your car and you feel like you're just like you can't move,
kinda
and
like
you're just horrible. You feel horrible, and it's like the worst feeling ever. It's not fun. You know, it's like, and this like I couldn't write it out.
The next day, I am ready to get hurt again. Did you write it down, or what did you even do if you said
nothing? I just remember feeling sick to my stomach. You know, it's like, but a lot of those pastors drank coffee. You know, like relentlessly. You know, so like it scares you. It's like, no, they're not. Like their conscience is clear. Yeah. Right? It's like, how am I going to, if their conscience is clean, that's clean enough for them. I don't need to be bringing up thorns on their side. I don't need to put in their face. Like, if my conscience is clean for what I've been doing, then that's okay. Sometimes your conscience pricks you, and you need to listen to that.
Well, it sounds like you're a very, like, your self-centered religion. That not even, like, self-centered, but, like, you make your own rather than, like, oh, you kind of put it on. But, like, a big thing about Christianity, and I'm not dissing on Christianity. I think it's just I meet so many people who are Christian who have, like, it's, like, different religions, even though everyone's like, yeah, I believe the same thing. I'm like, at some point, Christianity's got to understand it's like, oh no, everyone who believes is kind of have their own belief system, and they like pick which parts.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I believe coffee's okay, but marijuana's bad, or I believe meth's okay, you know. But then
it's like no individuality.
Yeah, there's no individuality.
Is allowed. Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear that you have like almost more individuality than Christian parts of it. So like, what even still ties you to Christianity? Did you just like read it at a young age and you're like, boom, Jesus Christ is like in there forever?
No, it's just to me, it's just the frequency. It vibrates in my soul is the truth, you know? And it's weird because whenever I'm scared and my dream worlds are amazing, whenever I'm dreaming in trouble, I run to that, and it gives me power in my dream worlds, and like it just gives me like this, like it's my secret space.
Yeah.
Like my mind I can retreat to.
Just like hang out and talk with God, or what do you mean?
Yeah, it's like a secret place in my mind. Like, you know, like you ever heard of MK Ultra? So it's kind of like that, like fracture people's minds, but there's nowhere for it to go, so they give it that place. It's like, so we cultivate through prayer and through different spiritual disciplines. Call it what you want. Whatever religion is, you're cultivating your own garden in your mind.
Yeah.
So like you like how much you cultivate. What's your garden look like? You know, you know, mine too. You know, like I got problems. You know, like I had this big beautiful castle, but then like overgrew with a bunch of brambles and weeds. And I gotta get back in there somehow, and you know, you gotta like get back to where you know that you should be. You know, so but then like now you've got a bunch of stuff you're carrying with you.
You know what's interesting is I used to like pray or talk to God when I was like way younger, like just say things and be like, well, I'll hedge my bets, because obviously I didn't believe religion when I was younger, but I was like, I'll hedge my bets by praying anyways. Did you do that, Kenzie?
I mean, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And you, so like how early do you remember like pray? Like I just vividly remember like laying in a hot tub at night. Like sitting, but like kind of like where you let your body float up and being like, oh, what are the things that I wish would happen?
As a
look
kid,
back, I'm like the dumbest things ever. I'm like, why didn't I wish to just have $1 million and be happy? 2 things and healthy. Boom, 3 things and you're set.
I just wish like when I was a kid, all I remember is like these like nightmares of those like seeing frequency lasers, like they were just like overlapping, and I could hear a noise that would just terrify me from my parents' room, and then I was like a bowling pin and a bowling ball was going for me. And it was like I could outrun it, and I just kept outrunning the ball. I was a bowling pin.
You're not dreaming. This is like
this is my dream when I was a kid.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah,
this isn't a dream.
No, I was when I was a kid. Yeah,
no, yeah, it's just my earliest memory.
Like you said your earliest memory. This is my earliest memories of a dream.
Okay,
yeah, it's just like these like scary dreams. I run in my parents' room and be like, oh my god, I have the same repeating nightmare of like me being this little guy. Then this huge boulder shows up, and it's just feeling that you can never. It's like being an ant. Like really, it's that feeling that hits you in your soul. Like it's like an island. Where like you can close your eyes and there's nothing a million miles away, just you, just the emptiness and this. It's scary, you know, like feeling that littleness.
The Indiana Jones movie comes out. It's like that, but in my dreams every night.
Yeah,
just by being chased with a boulder.
Yeah, it was when I was a kid, and I was like so scared, and then like that's what I remember as a kid mostly.
Dude, we should not put any fear. Like that's, I think the number one part of like religion, schools, and just parenting and everything is don't let your kid be afraid of things. Like I remember being scared, like an asteroid was going to hit Earth, the sun was going to die, all these things. And like I think we all have different fears. Like some people put the fears into their kids of like, hey, you might get taken if you're like out alone or something. Like we just tell all these kids things to be afraid of, and I'm like, yo, we're like pre-adulting them. Like we should just tell kids, you're fine, you're always gonna be safe, and just kind of deal with things as they come. I'm like, dude, fucking kids have no understanding of like, this isn't worth being afraid of. It like can consume you.
Mm-hmm. It's important to teach kids there's consequences for action. You know, and I'm still learning that to this day. But that's, I think, the whole purpose of this isn't to make people like feel bad. It's just to like let you know like you're gonna have consequences, and mom, dad can't help you.
Yeah.
And no one can help you. You're gonna have to own up to this. You know, so don't be like that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And then one day, some people, we've seen a lot of them. You know, you go on Reddit and watch public freakouts, and you can watch those moments of people that it hits,
Letting
you know,
it out. Unlike
yeah,
you know, you're like they're
you know, but it's like that's like
just
you know, yeah, it's like, and it's hard to pill this well. We all have it in our own way. It's like, to me, it's like when you're like halfway to life or death. You know, it's like both have a claim on you.
Yeah.
When
You've
you're
been
like,
there before? I guess when you got in a car accident.
Yeah, but like just like, you know, I'm halfway life, I'm midlife.
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of 33 years away from when I was born.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of, you know, in between the two realities,
Yeah.
you know, so they're both pulling at me, you know, like which one do you embrace more? The more like, oh, I'm being negative, grumpy old man. Everyone knows the grumpy old man,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or the super enthusiastic teenager, you know,
Yeah.
or like I want to be,
heavily that
you know,
way.
it's like, you know, I like to be like a baby and like an old man simultaneously.
Same time?
Yeah.
You don't have that energy at all. You have the 12-year-old, like, really
But
lot
they
of
get in the
energy.
middle, sometimes like 45,
Yeah.
you know, I'm thinking that, you know.
I'm, like
you know,
40, I'm 20, I'm 33, mentally I'm a 45.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking, yeah. I'm like, that's what I'm in my mind, like, okay, right there.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
You have the most interesting thought, like, of anyone that, it's funny that it seems like I've invited, like, multiple people with a ton of energy on the show
Yeah.
in a row, and then I'll probably have more, like, just, like, lower energy people, but it's fun that I happen to, like, slam you all together, because it's like, oh, it's a fun, like, topic to think about, which is, like, just what are your thought patterns that allow you to live a life where you have this much, like, motivation? Like, would you say you're, like, a driven person, or do you wake up and you just feel like you have a lot of, because, I have some days where I wake up, I'm like, oh, I have so many things that I'm excited to do, and I wake up other days, and I'm like, fuck that, I just want to do nothing. I'm like, what is the core of that? Like, I thought, like, tweeted that out not too long ago where I was like, what is energy and how do I get more of it? Like, what is it, dude?
I want to be unpredictable to the spirit world. So I wake up being unpredictable. If they think they're going to tweak me in one way or another, you know, if they're going to like get me to be excited about this or that, I tend to like reject it. You know, I don't like being controlled.
Yeah.
I don't like being prodded. I don't like being mind controlled. I don't like being told what to do.
What's it like fighting with your
I
own
don't
mind
like,
all the
exactly.
time, man?
You know, I don't like that. I try to be unpredictable, and that just keeps it exciting.
Wow,
like, you know, like here's his opportunity. He's gonna totally take that bait line singer. We got him. You know, it's like with that Truman Show.
What show?
The movie The Truman Show.
Oh yeah, where he like purposefully starts doing other things.
Well, it's like he's like his life is a show. His life is a show.
Yeah, that's funny.
So like it's just an interplay with your reality like that, and you start to find constants that only you know.
Mhm.
It's like that dreidel in Inception that keeps spinning. You know, whatever it was, that little top.
I don't think it's a dreidel.
It's a top.
Yeah.
So the Jewish coming out of me.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like it's a top. You know, so it's like it's the same thing, but it's you do it in your mind.
Yeah.
So you test reality enough, and you get these constants that you know are to be true.
Do you like have very vivid
You know?
dreams where you have to test reality a bunch?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
You seem like someone who does.
Yeah.
You
So like
constantly-
I'm actually like weird. And they're constant. Like there's a lot of dreams. Yeah.
Interesting stuff, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the most convincing thing for Christianity that I've ever had.
Oh God, really? Because I'm not trying.
I get a
It's
really
scary.
energetic and a random and sporadic life like the Truman Show. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
moderately appealing.
Because the truth hurts. It's like I said, people lose their mind. You know, you start hearing demons, you start seeing things. We call them aliens.
what
call
is
it what you
hearing
want.
demons? What
Like people like hear the worst thing. Like it's like hear the worst thing you could hear in a situation. Hear the worst idea. The worst call. There's a car coming on. Sort of hurt that person you're driving.
Yeah.
You know that thought crosses your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Like, you know, we're human. So
You're
it's
on, like,
that
high
thought.
building.
Yep.
What if?
Yeah, what if? It's that what if.
Yeah.
It's like, and you got like some people that can't silence it. So then like that starts to take over, and they're not listening to their friends, their family, the higher sources.
Yeah.
They're listening to those like voices that then take them over, you know.
That'd be
And
the-
it's fun to play with because you think you're right. They trick you into thinking you're right, and you
Yeah.
know stuff, you know. So it's fun
It's
to.
the real most wild card way to end it. You're like 90. What if?
Yeah.
And you actually take
I
it
can
out.
fly. You know, like
Yeah.
you can fly. Like, oh God, he's crazy. You know.
And spending 90 years not listening to this.
And that's why they
What
tie
if he's
people
right?
down in insane asylums. That's why we tie them down. You know, it's because you know they will.
They will.
Yeah, they
I know.
will.
That's so weird to think. Like some people's
They're
minds
ready, you know, they're like-
so unfettered. Like they literally just can't. Like I don't know. I have such a vivid memory of like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I have a cinnamon roll if you want before
Yeah.
you leave. You can take home with you.
Yeah, sounds
It's funny.
good.
I asked Kenzie. I'm like, maybe we should just do the
Nice.
show eating cinnamon rolls.
I love cinnamon
I
rolls.
was like, it's 5. It's like nighttime for most people. It's just morning for me. Because dude, holy my sleep schedule. So do you have work, like, as a brewer, you could almost set your schedule. You could be, like, you're awake at night and sleep during the day schedule?
Yes, like...
So what keeps you, like, a regular schedule? Are you, like, a sun praiser kind of person?
No, like, I've been so opposite of that. Last, like, 9 months since this whole transition's been happening, I've just felt like I just earned just enough money to get by, and then just, like, retreat and do nothing, like a hibernating little pig, you know? Like, you know, so I just, like, hibernate, because I know that, like, once I get these yeasts going, once I start, you know, working them, I become a slave to them, and you got to keep the yeast going, you know?
So it's like for brewers, slave to the yeast.
Yeah, so, like, once I get it started, I know that, like, what's beginning, so then it's
so
like...
it's not started, you're not, like, brewing at this moment?
Nope. Tanks are, like, in there, we're just waiting for the okay.
I'm excited to see are you taking, like, videos before you, like, built the place up and videos now?
Yeah, we have a crew doing, like, a little bunch of videos of it
so you have,
coming
like,
in.
one super rich client that kind of, like, just allows you to do whatever you want in life. That's, like, the score.
Yeah, basically, like, it's the truth.
Working for one person directly is so much better than, like, for a corporation where it's, like, kind of 10 people kind of are giving you directions and they're just getting directions from 10 more people. And it's, like, this huge mess. But if one person has enough money
It's like a theocracy, you know? And, like, it works for me in my mind, you know? It's like, you know, that's not true, but...
You'd probably be a really good boss if you, like, won a lawsuit and got, like, millions of dollars. You'd probably be, like, the coolest boss ever. The people that you would hire, dude, I can't even imagine what it'd be like coming up and, like, getting a job interview from you. You'd be like, hey, do you have those thoughts in your brain? And then you go again. Are you a wild card?
Well, it's like...
Interview, what the fuck?
Yeah, the fact these people exist is what's blowing my mind. It's like, there's so much, you know... other stuff that exists. It's like almost like a math equation. These people have to exist. They're like the keystone of reality for me.
Yeah.
Because like if they don't, everything I believed in was wrong.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
And it sometimes manifests in people that have been manifesting themselves for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And they all peak together. And
That's
it's like,
the weird part.
whoa. Like it's like a helping team that comes out of nowhere.
Okay, so
that's about to give up.
And
you
this
know?
happened to you 9 months ago?
About that,
So this happened to me 3 months ago. I met the next door neighbor, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met the CEO of Arcimoto and one of the people in the R&D
Oh, well, I've been
department.
seeing them more. Their ads more.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing it like in Times Square and other like ads. I saw them.
Where it's like the little 3-wheel vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met them and then we just became really good friends really quick. In a similar way where it's like allowing me to finally have enough money to go like survive. And I just make video content for them, which is something I really enjoy. So it's like if you ever see like an upright video from them,
I've been seeing them.
Fun. Those are most likely from me. Whereas like vertical, like horizontal videos is from other people, which I'm like that's a dying medium. As I film the show, horizontal. The day that I just turn all the cameras sideways.
That's funny.
But yeah, so it's interesting that happened to me, and it totally felt like, oh, this team's been manifesting their own thing, and I just get to kind of like I get to jump on that ship. It's one of the coolest things that ever happens. And yeah, like if it goes away, wouldn't it be such a hard... But you said that'd be good. So if all these people went away or like you got fired or they died, would you lose your faith or would you be like,
no,
oh, that's a good thing?
No,
I
wouldn't. You know, that's the thing. It's because that's something... Everything's dust. But
everything is dust.
Everything's dust. Oh, there's dust in the wind. Until like, what can you take with you, you know?
Do you ever read the Bible? Like,
oh, yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm. I do. Every day.
So a good friend who lives in Vegas sent me a nice leather-bound Bible.
Yeah.
If I were to read one of the like chapters or parts or whatever they're called, one of the books, what one would it be? Like one of the it's the person's name.
Okay,
know?
First you should read the Bible and then also read Saturn Death Cult, which is very interesting.
Fuck Christianity.
You know, Saturn Death Cult, because it's about Christianity, funny enough. So, you know, you should read Saturn Death Cult, but also read the Bible.
Where did it get that name, though? I mean, you
it's just you know, exactly. Just you can Google Saturn Death Cult. You start learning about like how all Abrahamic religions kind of tie to Saturn in a weird way. Like it's like our religious activities.
Yeah.
You know, like people believe it was our original past sun. You know, like a lot of beliefs in Saturn. And believe it or not, like they believe it's like our souls are captured in this weird time capsule, and like Saturn kind of controls all this shit. So it's like, but like everything plays back, like the cube. There's, you know, the cube is on Saturn. All this stuff leads back to Saturn. But first, the Bible goes. I read about Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes.
Okay, what's that?
It's supposed to be just a story of a self-written biography of a dying old king who's done it all.
Celestiastes.
Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes. Okay.
Yeah, it's like his like whole like he's done it all. He just writes in his life. He says, "I've done everything," and I'll just tell you everything he did, and tell you everything he learned from it. It'll be like, and then it all comes down to me. It's me. Everything's like what we talked about.
Yeah.
You know, in the end, whether wise or smart, rich or poor,
yeah.
You know, good or bad,
yeah,
you're all gonna die.
Yeah. And then so who cares?
Enjoy it.
Yeah. So
Enjoy even the bad. Enjoy that.
It
Enjoy.
sounds like you're Satan.
Just enjoy
Honestly,
it.
At the end of it,
I've been
like,
waiting for the time to say it. I'm like, how are you
have you
not
read into Satanism?
Well, because Satanists and Christians are like they're really close. They're at 1% off. Which you
They're what?
They're 1% off.
Yeah, the true ones are. Yeah, they believe the same shit, everything, except like they say no to Jesus, and then you say yes. It's so simple. But we believe the same thing. Like you boil it down, it's the same thing, except it's just yes or no to like you're king or not. It's like whatever.
I love you so much, man. I don't even know how to respond.
It's the truth. They're the same thing, like because they believe Satanists believe, basically the same stuff. But
their whole like tenets are like you're a sovereign individual. Don't let others control you.
Truth.
And yeah, so it's all these things. I'm like, so like if it's a 1% difference, why do you say you're a Christian, not a Satanist? Or are you like?
Because
would you still kill yourself if someone forced you to become a Satanist if it's only 1% away?
I wouldn't kill myself.
You would bend yourself 1%?
No.
No,
I will not bend myself 1%.
I'll read the Bible if you read the Satanist, like the 7 tenets.
I would never myself. I wouldn't kill myself. I would never kill myself, but
because you can't.
I just would. No, I've already changed my choice. It's like almost like you can't argue with your own destiny. You can't like. I'm not here to like. I'm not here to really understand. I guess why I did it. It's already done in my mind. Like already. Like it's like I never thought about unbecoming a Christian. I never thought about. It's never passed my mind.
So if it's already like, do you have free will? Would you say?
And that's the scary part. That's what still keeps me up in the morning. That's why I have this energy because I'm testing that theory by keeping the spirits guessing. Because like you think they get you sometimes.
Like gambling on you? They're like
exactly. It's fun. It keeps it real fun. Like, oh, we got him. Like this girl, like almost like you can see it set up. See once you like you can see these situations in your life, and like almost like orchestrated, and you're just like, man, this isn't the government. This isn't aliens. This is big time. And it's like you gotta say, and you play with them. You don't have to be. You just most of the time you just do nothing. Yeah. Like SpongeBob from the Conch show. Yeah. Like that's my main go-to. Is I just do nothing.
Oh my God.
Nothing for a long time, and just like pull the conch. So what do you do now, magic conch? And it's like nothing. Like okay, I'm gonna do nothing. Like and like,
a SpongeBob
conch shell. That'd be
that's like me to the core.
It works, and it takes care of you. And that's what it literally did. The conch shell.
So you were doing nothing when 9 months ago. All this good came.
Basically, yeah. It's like when I stopped trying, I gave up.
Cool. Maybe I'll stop trying.
Yeah. Like, no, stop trying, stop working. But when I stopped trying to, I was going to walk away from brewing. I was like going to get a different job. And I'm like,
you're going to be a lawyer.
Yep. I feel like God didn't want me to brew and no one wanted me to brew. And it just wasn't a good path for me. And I was willing to accept that. And that's okay because I've done everything I wanted to do.
So how did it come into your life if you're doing nothing?
I don't know exactly. I'm just willing to entertain other ideas.
Yeah. Like, like literally, like how, like, did you meet someone on the internet or like what happened?
No, I just, I basically met Waylon through my friend JD Pickett, who trained me 10 years ago at Oregon Trail, and we've been friends ever since.
Crazy thing.
And he's always been a very merciful person and lends an ear to me, and just does what he says he's going to do, and that's really rare.
Yeah.
Someone that does what they say they're going to do. It's just I've never seen it.
Yeah, except for obviously
in the beer industry, Yeah, it's like we're going to do this, we're going to take care of you, and this is going to happen. I'm like, okay, now I don't even guess. Because they're going to do it. I've had so many close calls. Like someone wanted to buy the building 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Same thing Waylon was doing. And he had all the money lined up. But it was always like with stipulations. It was always with just a little more time, a little more this, a little more that, a little more finicky. It's a lot of money. I'm not going to argue. But then it ends up like pulling out, getting everyone really excited.
Shitty.
And it is, but it's like for the best. When I look back, it's for the best.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, most things tend to be. Not everything's for the best, but the majority of things. Yeah. I'm going to literally have to name this episode Ramblings of a Crazy Man.
That's good. That's fine.
Because I'm like, it's so hard for me to... Normally, it's like I'm the more sporadic one in the episode. Like, people are like, oh, don't let me get off topic here. And then they like keep railing on what they're talking about for like 20 minutes. And I just like do my best to like, no, talk about a different subject.
Oh, good.
I'm
trying not to.
And then I'm like, wait, what's you're one of the spirits. I'm trying to keep you on your toes. I'm on my toes. If this is actually how you live your life and there are all,
it really is.
entities watching you, dude, they must just be like, what in the fuck is this guy doing? You should honestly just have a camera, like a... when you're playing video games, like a third-person camera, you should just have one of those, like a backpack that you wear, and live stream your life. People would be like,
that's not a bad idea. That's not an idea.
People can actually gamble on it. You can just take like 1% of it.
It's like, 'cause that's why I see it. It's like, here's the Weston, like it's like Roy from Rick and Morty.
Totally.
And like it really is.
He's going off the grid.
He is. Yeah. And it's like when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, that's so rings so true. Because like that, it makes me feel less bad for being so disheveled.
Yeah. Are you watching the new season by chance?
No, I haven't watched it since 2. But like I want to. I just been like holding it sacred in my mind. And I want to watch it on order, and I want to watch it right. I watched a couple of 3, like half of 3.
Cool. The first episode was killer.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, man, how many psychedelics have you taken in your life? You seem like someone who is enjoyed and seen the most of that part of life, and that's coming from me, where like
Yeah.
I took an ungodly amount for a lot of my like pretty much 18 to 22. I was like taking either LSD, mushrooms, or DMT almost every day, every couple days, with like month breaks in between, and then like back at it. And you seem like someone who has even taken far more than me.
Yeah.
I've never taken it.
Well, it's funny. I don't know. It's like, I never did them. Like, at least when I first started doing them, I did it to change my life. I did it for education purposes.
Well, that's how you always do.
Yep, that's my mind. I was like, I'm just going to learn something from this, and it seems like I might learn something I shouldn't. You know, they burned all the good books.
Yeah.
You know, all the good books. They burned them all. So, or they
There you
keep,
go.
or
The
they,
Bible's a bad book.
you know, seriously, all the books that like with the special knowledge, you know, they really don't want people to see. You know,
So
they
like,
hit them or burned them.
So you think like people used to be smarter and more in touch with like why wouldn't they just write those
It
books
was
now?
in a weird. It's weird. It's like common sense is found like in a tribe of people that have never known outside societies. All they know is the sun and the grass and the buffalo and what's around them, and they have intrinsic laws. There's laws.
Yeah.
Then like that follow the laws that they just perceive, you know. And then there's laws that we have created that then they mesh somewhere in the middle, and that's where America is. You know, where it's like there's like raw native land and like these like common good we can meet you at.
Yeah.
But then there's like, how can we also count all this, make sense of it, make sure you get yours and he gets his, and tax it all. You know, and so it's like, how do we fit the world in a box? And the answer is you don't. Have you seen one square in nature?
I haven't.
Neither have I. I've never seen a square in nature. It's a pattern. It's a pattern of control. It's a pattern of, you know, basically oppression.
Yeah.
Because if you plant things in squares and rows, you can count them, so you can tax them. So it's like that's not how, you know, food has to be planted. You know, you can do it a lot of different ways. But
You know when you're like really stoned and someone's telling you something and you don't follow at all and you feel like, man, I'm really stoned. I'm sober and you make me.
I'm trying to get you. That's my job. That's what I was trying to
I'm
do.
like starting to look at my hands. Am I stoned as fuck right now? Yeah, I mean, there's no squares in nature. That's why brewers use circles, right?
I don't even know. I'm just like.
I don't even know, man.
But like, what's cool about the Brewing project is those guys are all music guys. They all came from a lights and sound company. They're like super passionate about it for like, man, longer than I've been brewing. Twice as long as I've been brewing, they've been doing sound and lights.
Wow.
So they have like these huge, like just amazing systems. And I've been working for them, setting them up at different shows and stuff. And so those are the guys who are really interested in the brewing.
Nice.
So how does sound and music and beer all come together?
Yeah.
And I like to do it in a way that's, you know, it's less hokey. Let's just like make something and slap it together.
Yeah.
More like create it together, create them together from like a deeper point.
So
you know,
they
like
play
let's make
music for the yeast.
like for example, kombucha beer. Let's make a kombucha beer. They'll make kombucha, they'll make a beer, they'll pour them together.
Yeah, sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds terrible, right?
Does it taste good? Have you actually done that?
No, I haven't had one.
But you're gonna someday.
I'm trying to make one.
Nice. It'd
You
be
know?
cool. If
But, like
you
it'd be fun to make one with actual SCOBY in it and try to like do it, you know, that
like
way.
an actual
But
beer
like
is
most
good, yeah.
stuff I see in brewing is gimmicky. It's it seems like it's not like really. It's like for different purposes than like really.
Yeah, it tends to just be like, oh, what if we use hops with pineapple this time? It's like, okay, we've tried that. They all taste like hops.
Yeah, exactly. So.
It'd be cool if you could just like figure out a way to make SCOBY turn kombucha alcohol like that strong, like pretty much just brewing beer or like brewing kombucha, but it turns out beer strength.
Yeah, well, naturally, it's like
6% beer or 6% kombucha would be killer.
it would be killer. It would be
so
killer.
vinegary
It really
pop.
would. It usually comes out around 1 point. This is the sad part about the kombucha industry. It usually comes out about 1.5, 2%, but like
They have to
most of the
water it
shelf,
down.
most
no.
shelf stuff you find, they got to filter it. So they filter out a lot of that stuff.
I know. It's
So they're
cool.
like, oh, we got to filter out because it can only be 0.5% alcohol. So since it's going to be 0.5% alcohol, I keep finding these. I look for the good stuff. You know, I always find the good stuff on the shelf, and then it has to change.
It's like more expensive.
Yep,
It's
because
like
people
top
have
shelf,
because they
man.
get that. Yep, it stinks because it's like we wanted to open a curing room at the deli. Have a curing room for some reason or another. We couldn't have one.
Curry?
A curing like meat, hanging
Oh,
meats,
yeah,
and
cool.
and curing just like old style of curing meats,
Yeah.
and we couldn't have one in Corvallis.
Because of weird laws and stuff.
Yeah, taxes and
There's
stuff.
so
It's
many
just like
weird laws that just like, oh, well, didn't you know that? Like,
it's like
200
it
years ago,
stifles
some-
creativity,
It
and it's all about
does, in a
control.
massive
It's all about
way.
control, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
where it's at. It's like I don't know, man. I was in Belgium and there was just sitting here like you and me, and there was like the drain for the chemicals just go between us so we could have a beer. Like, there's like go through like woo woo woo. Oh, it bounces off those bricks. We're like, haha, it's funny. And it comes over
Can I
here.
just vote you to be mayor or governor of Oregon? You would be such a fun politician.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know,
it'd
but
be fun if you actually ran, man. I would help your
I
campaign
will.
as much as I can.
One day I'll run. One day I'll run just for you.
That would be awesome.
I will. Policy.
Legitimately.
I'll have a pony policy where everyone gets a free pony, a pony-based economy. You know.
It's funny. Your ideas aren't that far off from the average politician. In terms
Yeah,
of, like,
yeah.
How nonsense and non-helpful and kind of
Exactly.
crazy they are.
Like, and free toothpaste and toothbrushes for every person.
Yeah.
Extra teeth hygiene is key.
I would
You know?
take fluoride out of water because it's like
I would double it. You know, like people are
People
thinking.
do better too.
I would. Yeah, people
You're so
are
fucking
thinking too much. You know, like let's just ride your pony. I'm gonna double, maybe triple fluoride.
You just
You
take
know?
the water supply.
I vote
I'll
for
put B vitamins.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah,
It'd be
just
funny
like-
if they just added everything that's vital for
That you
existence
need,
into
yeah.
water.
Might as
Or,
well.
like minerals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Might as well. And you find like some water that doesn't have anything. Wait, why doesn't this taste like a bunch of chemicals? Because like, dude, living in town already, water tastes horrible. I suspect that's why I have no energy. It's 'cause I'm drinking chlorine, like all these things that I'm like, why is this in my water supply?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons, but like, and we'll talk about that later. But basically, water has memory, and that's been proven for a long time. And water, if anything else, is an element. You know, how often do you deal with something that's so basic all the time, right? We're talking about like a crystal, like we're on a crystal ball, like water, right?
Yeah.
So it picks up all the stuff that it touches. It's like a sponge.
Yeah.
It's going to touch the 70-year-old lead pipes. It's going to touch, you know, those chemicals, those fertilizers, all that stuff gets concentrates. You know, hell, I know the happiest, healthiest people that drank that water from the fertilizer dishes, and they're still fine to this day, right? But some people, it hurts, you know?
Yeah.
I know people that smoke cigarettes for 100 years, and they're fine.
Yeah.
I know people that, you know, have lung cancer at 35,
Yeah,
like
never
for real.
smoke.
Yes.
It's so-
it's like, it's this thing, it's almost in your mind, and it's almost like this Pandora's box, is because what you become more aware of,
Mm-hmm.
you become almost a hypochondriac, and you start to make things a problem, you know? I'm not saying things weren't before or are,
Yeah.
but the more your mind admits it to be a problem,
Yeah.
the more that problem starts to wrap up around that, and it creates like scar tissue almost.
Yeah.
And it starts to create the irritation, which causes inflammation, you know?
Yeah.
So then you start to only focus on that, and there's
Yeah.
so many other voices and
So have
things
you
in this
been there
reality.
before? How'd you break out of it?
God, oh man, I fought the whole time.
Yeah.
I fought to stay in, you know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you were like becoming like just more aware of like health issues and hypochondria, and then you just like broke away from it, or did you see other people going down that path?
Oh, for me, just personal. I'm talking from personal experience. But the first person that got me down this path was a guy named Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like was this tea guru guy who like knocked on my door when I was like 23
Mhm.
and lived with me and like would make teas. And like
Nice.
was like kind of homeless, but like knew a lot.
About
he was like,
teas.
he's like, and like smoked like salvia 700 times.
Whoa.
And so it's like, you know, like talk about like, to me, that's when you say done hallucinogens a lot. I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm not there because like
Yeah.
I know people that are
Was he
just
an absolute crazy? I couldn't imagine.
I guess I wish he was, but now he is.
is.
Now he did lose it. Like he
Bummer.
he had this beautiful line, and he would use the salvia to talk to dead people.
Mm.
So he would talk it to like you could come to him, and he would talk to like relatives and stuff for you.
Yeah.
He was like part Native American, so like eventually that backfired on him, and now he's homeless. You know, but like that's what got me curious because I could see this guy do weird stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So like once you start seeing the weird stuff happen, you want to figure out like poke it like a belly button.
Yeah.
Like, why is this weird stuff happening? Our reality says this shouldn't happen. I'm looking at this thing happen. I know this is happening. Let's keep playing with it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when they bring the cameras out and stuff. You know, I think that's why there's a huge thing in paranormal right now. Like, everyone's like, you know, like ghost hunters are just
Yeah.
everywhere and
Believe it
stuff.
or not, I don't really believe in ghosts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
I know we
simply-
talked about
you
this.
believe in paranormal. We did. You remember a conversation?
Oh, yeah.
3 years
Mine's
ago?
synchronicity. It's like, you know, mine's more, I believe in synchronicity.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
I'm
you know,
100% on that. The
Yeah.
weirdest, most odd things happen. Literally,
Exactly.
I'm walking down the
It's like
stairs this
that,
morning,
yeah.
TV show,
Yeah.
or like, the weirdest things, man.
Yeah.
No, it's fun to pay attention
Yeah, it's
to. And
that.
the
It's
people
like-
who try to discredit it, maybe I'm the person
That's
who discredits
paranormal
it
to
with
me because it's
ghosts.
like, whoa, man, I cannot wrap my mind around that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you time everything up that well? So it's like a clock, almost. It's like watching the gears of a clock move.
You make me want to take psychedelics. You're a person who makes me, I'm like, huh. I gotta admit, you're literally a one-of-a-kind person.
Thank you.
In the sense that I'm really happy I had you back on, man.
I'm glad you called me because like I wasn't ready last week. I didn't sleep all night and I was just like staring at a computer screen. It's like
What
this
do you-
is
oh, the
like
video game.
Video games.
Yeah.
Just playing video games. Yeah, it was fun.
Cool.
I haven't like I made a thing of it. Like I did all my important stuff.
Yeah.
And me and my friend are gonna play video games all night.
Nice.
That we
You know
like.
what? Maybe I'll do that tonight. Maybe
was
that'll
fun.
be my first venture, and we just pretty much hit an hour, man. Do you want to promote anything?
Yeah.
Like a
Keep
Twitter page?
listening to Talk to Tiger. This guy's got it going on. He's
Yeah.
fire. Woo!
You're the best. It's funny. That'll be the ad for the show. I love you lots, man. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and we'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
This table, cool.
Thank you.